Program on your Monday afternoon. So glad to chat with you. Hope you had a fantastic Easter, and I know we all had a great Easter when we heard about the rescue of that airman that was shot down over Iran. We'll talk about that coming up in just a second. I want to go to Luke in Pelzer, talk to him about Lindsey Graham. Luke, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having the candidates on. That we can get some information that we don't get through ads and that type of thing.
Okay, that was Bill Frady. That was Bill Frady a few minutes ago, not me.
That's right. I realize you switched since I first dialed in. It switched over to you.
Yeah.
But, anyhow, I was going to mention that first thing Lindsey talked about was things about his competitors, the ones that's running against him, you know.
Right, yeah.
That gives me some concern that's his highest priority, you know. There's a lot of other things that should have been the first thing that he discussed instead of that. And the other thing that I wanted to pass on is I remember when he ran the first time around, and for senator, and his number one thing then was term limits.
Term limits.
He hadn't mentioned it since.
Yeah, it does seem that way.
It's been 30 years. That's been 30 years ago, I believe it is.
Yeah, something around there.
So he didn't mention it on this one either. So.
You're right. You're right. And you know what got me, Luke? I appreciate you calling. You know what got me was one of the things, because I was listening to the interview with Lindsey Graham with Bill Frady. And he's talked about doing away with the filibuster. And he talked about, well, we're going to take it down, from 60 to 57 and then to 50. Incrementalism, do away with the filibuster. And my first thought was, wait a minute, you're never going to do that. You're never going to do it. And you're certainly not going to do it in time for to prevent the Democrats from doing it once they get back in office. This guy, he's just got no sense of urgency right now. He's got this sanctuary cities bill. That's never going to see the light of day. Nobody's going to be able to vote on that in the Senate. But he's campaigning on it like a madman. It's never going to pass that 60-vote threshold. No sanctuary. You think the SAVE Act is going to be hard to pass? You wait till you start dealing with the Democrat sanctuary cities. They're going to be fighting you. So no, nothing's going to get done. Yeah, you might get something done in the the reconciliation bill with the funding for DHS, but you're not going to get the SAVE Act passed. It's just not. They don't have the guts. The Republicans in Washington do not have the guts to do it. Or, I'll say it another way, if you don't mind, they don't want to do it. They don't. They don't want to do it. John Thune does not want to do it. It's not a priority for him to make sure that our elections are safe. Just not. Because that will require doing away with the filibuster. And if that does away with the filibuster, that means now there's no excuse for not passing Donald Trump's initiatives. And we all know that John Thune, listen to what he said. We can go back to the campaign. He said Donald Trump should drop out of the race and Mike Pence should run. That's what John Thune said. Those words he tweeted him own self. Him own self. He did that. But now he's a supporter of President Trump. Don't buy it. Listen, you see it. It's on the shelf. It's advertised. Don't buy it. There's no reason to buy it. Yeah, the ad may be flashy, but don't buy it. Literally. Anyway, there you go. So, pilot rescued. President Trump outlined today from the White House exactly, well, as much as they could, tell you exactly what went on with this. Let's take a listen to what the president said.
We were bringing them all over, and a lot of it was subterfuge. We wanted to have them think he was in a different location because they had a vast military force out there. Thousands of people were looking. So we wanted them to look in different areas, so we were scattered all over like we were right on top of them. We had 7 different locations where they thought, and they were very confused. They said, well, wait a minute, they've got groups here, they've got groups there. It's amazing.
Yeah, it was. It was a lot of subterfuge because it had to be. It had to be. And I'll tell you why it had to be coming up in just a second. But the first communication that this pilot had, this weapons control officer, the first communication that he had when he was able to was God is good. And then on Easter, he was found and removed from Iran. That's pretty amazing. It really is. So why did they have to resort to subterfuge? Why didn't they just go in and get him? Well, because somebody in a very high position leaked.
As you probably know, we didn't talk about the first one for an hour. Then somebody leaked something, which we'll hopefully find that leaker. We're looking very hard to find that leaker. And talked about there's somebody missing. They basically said that we have one and there's somebody missing. Well, they didn't know there was somebody missing until this leaker gave the information. So whoever it was, we think we'll be able to find it out because we're going to go to the media company that released it, and we're going to say, national security, give it up or go to jail. And we know who, and you know who we're talking about, because some things you can't do because...
And he's exactly right. Whomever this person is, not only endangered the life of that weapons control officer, he also endangered the life of everybody that went over there to try the rescue. That's what that one slimy you-know-what did. I hope they find him. I hope they are prosecuted. I hope they go to jail for a long, long time. Because those are things you just don't do. You put our men and servicemen and women's lives in danger when you gave information to the media. Yeah, hope they find them. Hope they do. And by golly, I hope they go to jail. I wish they'd be strung up by their thumbs, but that might be too good for them. We'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Streaming stimulating talk and breaking news on your phone 24/7 on the Odyssey app. You're on the drive with the Charlie James Show.
News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas. Type your message on the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line.
800-905-0989. This is the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
All right, let's go to the WORD talk line. We'll talk to Dean in Cashville. How you doing, Dean?
Not bad, not bad.
Good.
And I just wanted to chime in on what you were saying. In his book, Argo, Tony Mendez, and this is a movie with Ben Affleck, Tony Mendez was talking about Operation Eagle Claw. The book came out in 2013. There was a guy, he did not say who,
Yeah.
but he said even in 2013, this guy had done stuff during the Second World War they could still not talk about. What
Yeah.
happened over there?
Yeah.
We don't know about, and we are not supposed to know about. And the story is a lot deeper. A few of the things coming out, for example, there are videos online of people in Iran blocking the streets so they could not search for the pilot. Charlie, thank you so much for what you do.
Well, I appreciate it, Dean. Thank you very much. Well, I want to thank the men and women of our military because what they do is actually amazing. What they were able to do over the weekend was just nothing short of miraculous. Now, did it have a couple of hiccups? Yep, but guess what? Every single military operation has a hiccup, and they've got contingencies. And because of that, we were able to get this guy out. We go in with, and there's this French guy. I don't even know his name. He's got a ridiculous last name, like, hello, my name is Jean-Claude. Blah, 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 blah. So this guy says, he literally said this. So he had a picture of, I think it was two C-130s, an F-15, two C-130s, a Warthog, and an Apache helicopter. And he went on AI and had the picture generated. But they were lined up side by side. And this Frenchie said, all of this for the life of one soldier? Question mark, question mark. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's why France never met a war that they didn't want to surrender to immediately. That's why. Well, what happened? What happened to the French Foreign Legion? What happened to, what comes the French Foreign Legion? We are so tough and we are so... No, you're not. You're not. You're not. You're a bunch of frilly, wasted cowards. We don't do... That's what distinguishes us from every other country. We don't leave them behind. At least we don't. We don't leave them behind. Do you remember when Joe Biden... Do you remember what Joe Biden did? Joe Biden left those astronauts up in space. Yeah, you guys got to be there for another 7 months. 7 months? What, are you kidding me? Joe Biden left them in space. Elon Musk sends a rocket up, brings them home. Joe Biden left military equipment all over Afghanistan. When we bring men home, we bring them home. When we leave equipment, we blow it up. Speaking of blowing up, tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, things might get real bright and real loud over in Afghanistan.
We have a plan, because of the power of our military, where every bridge in Iran will be decimated by 12 o'clock tomorrow night, where every power plant in Iran will be out of business, burning, exploding, and never to be used again. I mean, complete demolition by 12 o'clock. And it'll happen over a period of 4 hours if we wanted to. We don't want that to happen. We may even get involved with helping them rebuild their nation. And you know what? If that's the case, the last thing we want to do is start with power plants, which are among the most expensive thing, and bridges. You saw the bridge one. We were very close to a deal. And then I got a call from Mr. Witkoff, Mr. Kushner, and JD saying, I think they're breaking the deal. I said, tell them that's okay. Don't worry about it. But tell them to look out their window and watch. And within 45 minutes, I gave the order to knock out the biggest bridge. I gave the order, knock out the biggest bridge in, I believe, the Middle East, but the biggest bridge in Iran. And within 10 minutes after I gave that order, that bridge was over.
So, yeah, you're right. Did you know this, that during the rescue of our airmen, U.S. B-1 bombers dropped nearly 100 2,000-pound satellite-guided bombs? 100 2,000-pound satellite-guided bombs over there. He's not playing. He's not playing with these people. We were serious about getting our airmen home, and we did it. All of these for one soldier. Sacre bleu. Yeah, that's exactly right. Because that's the way we do things. That's why we are leaps and bounds ahead of France in everything you can imagine. That's the difference between us and everybody else. That's why we're a superpower and France is an afterthought. Charlie, the shortest book in history, the Book of French War Heroes. Exactly right. The rest of the pages are white just in case you need a impromptu flag to wave on your surrender. Charlie, what ticked me off of the weekend with all of these Americans hoping that Iran would capture that airman. These people need to be tried for sedition. Yep. Oh, and they were out there too. Boy, they were out there. Charlie, Biden left $7 billion in equipment without a rescue. Hey, Charlie, what did Hillary do in Benghazi? Exactly. We've got example after example of how the Democrats handle these things. And one big, giant, glowing example of how President Trump does it. We take care of business when we got a businessman at the helm. But yeah, there were people out there all weekend that were like, oh, I hope oh boy. Could you imagine being a person like that? I mean, I know you can't. I know it's hard. I know it's beyond your scope of reasoning to even imagine how some of these people think. But there they are. They're out there, and that's amazing. Let's see. Hey, Charlie, there was a guy on X that said, I have a French military rifle for sale, never fired, only dropped once. That's probably be a heck of a deal there. Yeah, exactly right. Exactly. They don't get it. They don't get it. That's why they always come screaming at us when they need help. If somebody looks at them wrong, oh, you know, United States, we need your help if you don't mind. But when we are asking for their help, no. We've got bases over in Europe, and the countries that our bases are in would not let us use our airspace. Now, remember, we paid that country a lot of money to be over there. That's we're seeing who our friends are, and more importantly, we're seeing who our friends aren't. And right now, the friends list is unbelievably short. Unbelievably short. The enemies list is growing bigger and bigger by the day. So, pretty amazing. But that's what we did. So President Trump had a press conference today. Oh, that's right. Charlie, remember when Obama traded 5 high-risk terrorists for a deserter? Yeah, we're not even talking about a hero. We're not even talking about somebody that was, lost fighting for our country. Charlie, that French guy eats. I'm not even going to say that, but that's okay. But I enjoyed it. So anyway, so President Trump today had a press conference, and it was packed. Oh, it was packed. But wait a minute. Because I could have swore that all weekend long, all these liberals over on Twitter were telling me that Trump was in the hospital. Yeah, I was in the hospital. Trump's in Walter Reed. Oh, my OMG, Trump's in my Walter Reed Hospital. Turns out he wasn't. Obviously. We'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
15 minutes of breaking news and stimulating talk begins every hour on The Charlie James Show. Afternoons 3 to 7 on News Talk 98.9.
WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Chat with Charlie.
800-905-0989. Save it on your phone.
This is the Charlie James Show, only on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
All right, so all weekend long, all you heard was Donald Trump is a Walter Reed. Oh, there's something wrong with Trump. Why did they put this out there? Because for 2 days straight, the White House called a lid at around 11 o'clock in the morning. Now, a lid, what that means is they're not talking to press, not doing any press conferences, not doing any briefings. The White House is basically, they are busy working. What could they be working on over the past couple of days? Well, you know what that is, rescuing that lost airman. So they put a United States Marine Corps sergeant, I believe, right there at the front door of the White House, and that was it. That means a lid. It's a lid. No visitors. Nobody's going into the West Wing. None of that. Okay. We said we're busy. So because Donald Trump, for 2 days in a row, called a lid when we've got a missing soldier, what are these people, what conclusion to that? Oh, y'all. Charlie, Donald Trump's heart just couldn't take it. He's probably had a heart attack. He's in Walter Reed, and he's getting, at least he's getting a stent. That's got to be what it is, Charlie. He might even be dead. Oh, the president's dead, Charlie. All weekend I saw this. And I thought, that's the biggest load of garbage. And then they put up old video of President Trump leaving Walter Reed when he actually went there for, remember when he had the venous, whatever it's called, in his legs, the swollen leg syndrome, whatever it was. He went there, yeah. It was not, and they faked the video because that's what they are. They're just fake people. But so then, I guess, to dispel all of these rumors, Donald Trump had the press conference in the White House today, and it wasn't a short one. It went on for a little while. Not only did he give statements, Hegseth gave statements, others gave statements, then he answered questions. None of them asked, "Excuse me, sir, we heard rumors over the weekend that you were dead. Can you confirm or deny?" I'm surprised I didn't hear that. Hey, Charlie, the Easter Bunny didn't have to keep Trump from smelling children's hair today. I know, right? I know. But I love this. Hold on, let me just... There's this one text I really want to get to. I'm just having a little trouble finding it here. Hold on, give me just a second. That's okay. Okay. Where is it? Okay. Charlie, every one of those countries that wouldn't let us use air bases and such are running the same game plan the Democrats are. I mean, Spain even has paper straws. I hear all of this talk about New World Order, and I think, yeah. Then I start to see all of these countries doing the exact same things, and it makes me think it's a real thing. And it's obvious who the players are. Let me put your mind to rest. That whole New World Order thing, it is more than real. They are actively working on it right now. The globalist cabal on this planet want complete and total control. And they are every single day working towards the one country that is standing in their way of gaining that control, and that is the most powerful country on the planet, the United States of America. So all of these leaders, all of these folks in the European Union, the leadership over there, King Charles, they're all in on it. And they want our destruction. Speaking of King Charles, did you see where King Charles broke tradition that Queen Elizabeth II had for decades upon decades and did not give an Easter message? He didn't give an Easter message. He did give a Ramadan message. And then we hear that William, his son, the soon-to-be king, he called Islam the religion of peace and said there's a lot that we can learn from. Well, there's a lot. Yeah, you're right. There's a lot we can learn from Islam. I mean, if you're into shooty, stabby, blowy-uppy things, you can learn a lot from them. But why these people are just so hell-bent to bend over backwards towards radical Islam is beyond me. Charlie, all I kept hearing over this weekend is how Donald Trump costing the taxpayers millions of dollars to play golf. Oh, whatever. Charlie, I can't get any work done as long as I'm laughing at your old Charlie. Let's see. Charlie, I'm married to a retired fighter pilot who has jumped out. So grateful that these two men are restored to us and their wives are not widows. You're exactly right, Katie. I am too. Not all of us are happy about it. Not everybody. There's a lot of people over there, the radical left among us, that are kind of upset. Because remember the young kid that I played for you it was sometime last week, talking to a crowd in New York, saying that they will celebrate every American casket that comes home from Iran. You remember that kid? Yeah. There are people out there that are like that. I don't understand them. I don't get their thinking. I certainly don't get their rationale. But they're like that. But that's just, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about these folks on the left. And I'm talking about from moderate Democrat to the most leftist Democrat in this country you can find. They all have the same singular motto. If Donald Trump is for it, I'm against it. If Donald Trump does it, I hate it. It doesn't matter what it is. Anything. I'll go even further. If it helps America, I hate that too. They hate the country that has given them the opportunity to stand up and say that they hate it. That's what they get. That's what they get to do. They don't even realize that. Oh, no kings protest. If we really had a king, you wouldn't be out there protesting. You would not have the opportunity to protest because your butt would be working. When you see that flag with a hammer and sickle on it, that means something. That means you're either working in the factory or you're working on the farm. Notice there's no internet computer on that flag. Nope, you're doing that manual labor. Let's go to Will in Taylor's. Will, welcome.
Thank you, Charlie.
Yes, sir.
It's been several days since I've had an opportunity to talk to you, and there have been a number of events that have taken place that are in a very positive direction.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly where we were. I've been cut off 3 times, and I tried to determine whether it was Odyssey or the National Security Agency or just who it might have been. I believe we were talking about the Old Geezer reunion at Black Swamp Hunting Preserve when the last time that I was cut off. And I have been in contact with some people. It is my desire that beer not be sold in Clemson Memorial Stadium. And I have asked Clemson alumni to put 2 cents in a envelope and mail it to Post Office Box 1889, which is the foundation. And this will give them some depth or some measure on the depth of how Clemson people feel about a beer in the stadium. There is certainly the liability issue in terms of an accident caused by someone. There's probably half of the people or more that leave Clemson drunk, but they have the highway patrol on their side, and there's also the thing that no Clemson graduate died in World War II, so that beer could be sold in the stadium. It's a matter of integrity. It's a matter of morals and ethics. And so I am leading that fight and would ask any people that feel that Clemson should keep the integrity of the stadium in place to put 2 cents in an envelope and mail it to Clemson. Giving Day is the 8th. I believe today is the 6th.
Yeah.
I have mailed my
Okay, Will,
thing.
I think we get it. I appreciate it. We got to take a quick break. We'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
15 minutes of non-stop breaking news and stimulating talk jumpstarts every hour on the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9
WORD.
the voice of the Carolinas.
Interact on the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line.
800-905-0989. Text or call. One number does it all.
800-905-0989.
This is the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
During Benghazi, our ambassador made many failed attempts to call our Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton. Many failed attempts as our embassy in Benghazi was being stormed by radical Islamists. We lost American lives that day. Because of inaction. Never forget Hillary Clinton. At this point, what difference does it make? At this point, what difference does it make? He's dead. Think about that cold, heartless response that Hillary Clinton gave in the Benghazi hearing. At this point, what difference does it make? Juxtapose that to a lone airman, weapons control officer in an F-15 Strike Eagle. He and the pilot had to eject. This man, and listen, I know the movies make it look like an ejector seat landing is like landing on a feather bed, but it is not. None of that process is easy. It takes its toll on the human body. That's not something these people want to do on a daily basis. You couldn't do it. So they eject. He ejects over Iran, has the landing, is wounded pretty significantly. Then he climbed, he climbed a 7,000-foot mountain and hides in the one of the crevices of that mountain. Hides there. And when he is safe, considers himself safe, he then opens communication. The first communication that he issued was not, "I'm okay," was not, "we were shot down," wasn't, "here are my coordinates." 3 words. 3 words this man said. God is good. From that moment, communications with that weapons control officer were open. Once you listen to Pete Hegseth talk about it, here we go.
A running coordination cell. And the top of it read 45 minutes and 45 hours and 56 minutes. For 45 hours and 56 minutes, we held that call open for coordination. From the moment our pilots went down, our mission was unblinking. The call never dropped, the meeting never stopped, the planning never ceased. The president demanded rapid, decisive action. He backed our military with the full weight of his resolve, refusing to let enemy propaganda or tactical setbacks deter us. His leadership ensured that every lethal and non-lethal resource was brought to bear, that our forces had the authorities and the support they needed to succeed. When the president says he has the backs of our warfighters, he means it. And it means a great deal, and it's a big difference on the battlefield. President Trump understands that peace through strength is not a slogan. It is a doctrine that saves American lives. His unwavering commitment to rebuilding our military and restoring the warrior spirit has paid dividends in missions just like this one. Under his command, America projects power with confidence and brings our people home with victory.
Absolutely. Unlike Hillary Clinton, at this point, what difference does it make? Oh, what a new military we have, ladies and gentlemen, when things aren't being run by men in dresses. When we get back, CNN was forced to report something all about Republicans, but will Republicans be able to take advantage of it? We'll talk about that coming up. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
When he's not mowing his yard, He's mowing down liberal nonsense. It's the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9.
WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Charlie?
Let's talk.
It's the right talk. Charlie? Welcome. This is the Charlie James Show.
Now we're talking.
News Talk 98.9.
WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
America is back.
Yes, sir. You are correct. Let's go to the WRD talk line with Dr. Will in Easley. How you doing, Will? Will, are you there? Will? Hello? Are you there?
Is it Jeff you talking to?
No. Well, JJ typed in Will, so I guess this is Jeff in Easley. How you doing, Jeff?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. What's up, man?
Question. I see
Yeah.
Lindsay's already up this bull crap on television, but why ain't he got Colonna to call you a terror rather than Bill Frady?
I don't know. You see, Lindsay does not like me. Lindsay is not a fan of Charlie. Lindsay doesn't even want to be at events that Charlie is going to be at. So, yeah, I'm not surprised he doesn't call. I'm really not. But I'm glad he calls Bill. I am.
Yep.
Because then he'll say stuff like he said today, Jeff, I appreciate your call. He said that instead of these, talking about the filibuster, doing away with the filibuster, but instead of that, no. Instead of that, what they want to do, and this is from Lindsay's mouth, they want to take the 60-vote threshold and they want to make it a 57-vote threshold. Okay, what's that's not going to do? It's not going to do anything. It's not going to matter. And then he said we take it down to a 55-vote threshold. And you kind of do it like incrementally. How long is that going to take? First of all, you're not going to get the filibuster under this Senate or even the next one. You're not going to get it reduced to 57. And if you do reduce it to 57, it's not going to matter a hill of beans because you're still not going to have the votes to override it. The only option, and Lindsay even brought this up, he said, when the Democrats are back in power, they probably will do away with the filibuster. Then I got a brilliant idea, Lindsay. You and John Thune do away with the filibuster now when it will benefit us, the Republicans, or the Democrats are going to do away with the filibuster when it's going to benefit them. Because you see, nothing has been done. And this is what, can somebody ask this question, please? What have you actually done in the Senate? What have you voted on in the Senate? I mean substantive. I'm not talking about naming bridges or roads or declaring holiday, whatever. I'm not talking about that BS. I'm talking about stuff that really affects this country. And more importantly, what helps the Trump agenda. What has the Senate done? John Thune, they just don't have time to do away with the standing filibuster or with the zombie filibuster. They don't have time to go into the standing filibuster. We don't have time. It seems to me like you've got nothing but time. This president, over the past going on a year and a half now, has had 34 bills sent to his desk. 34. Now tell me how much work you're doing. Please tell me how much work you're doing in the Senate. I'm going to give you the answer. This is whenever you hear bleh come out of Lindsey's mouth, bleh, vomit. When somebody asks, hey, Lindsey, why don't you do away with the filibuster? Here is the actual answer. Because I don't want to. I don't want to do away with the filibuster. The same thing with John Thune. I don't want to do away with the filibuster. I kind of like the way things are going right now. Things are going great. So Lindsey's coming on. He's got all his ads out there talking about, we're going to do away with sanctuary cities. You don't know you're not. You're not. You're not going to do away with anything. You're not going to do sanctuary cities. You're not going to do away with Sanctuary Boulevard. Because you are still going to have those same 60 votes. I don't care if you do pick up one or two in the Senate. You're still going to have those 60 votes, and you're not going to get them. And nothing is going to happen. And for the next 2 years, if the Republicans lose the midterms, guess what? Guess what? You've got a lame duck president. But you've, in effect, had a lame duck president for the past year and a half because nothing's been done. So you can forget about it. The only thing you can look forward to is impeachment, and maybe removal of the President of the United States. Ro Khanna is promising that when the Democrats get back in power in the House, it's impeachment. If they get the House and the Senate, impeachment and removal. It'll be hard to get the 2/3, but still, they're gonna work on it. You're going to get Murkowski. You're going to get Tom Tillis. You're going to get, well, he won't be there then, but still. Speaking of Tom Tillis, we'll tell you what Tom Tillis said. Speaking of rhinos, he's not even a rhino. He's not a Republican at all. Not one little bit. So again, and they're lying to your face. They're lying to your face when they say they can't do anything about the filibuster. That is an absolute lie. There's a huge difference between can't and won't. Can't do anything about the filibuster. Won't do anything about the filibuster. These so-called Republicans, including Lindsey Graham, you are in the won't do anything about it. Because if there was something that he wanted to do about it, that's the first thing that he would have come out. No, he wouldn't have been talking about all of these opponents and their staffs and all of that. He would have said, here's what we're going to do. Here's what I am going to do as your senator. I'm going to get Tom Thune to do away with the filibuster. But did he say that? No. No, we're going to take it to 57. Then we're going to take it to 54. Whatever. No, you're not. You're not. It's just not going to happen. More campaign season BS from Lindsey. We'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Streaming stimulating talk and breaking news on your phone 24/7 on the Odyssey app. You're on the drive with the Charlie James Show.
News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
speaks. You listen on your time. Get the show on demand. Text podcast to 800-905-0989. The Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
Here's what's so frustrating about the whole shooting match. We have a chance. We have literally the best chance in our lifetime of bucking history. And the party that holds the White House actually gains seats in the House and the Senate. We have the best chance that we have ever had, and these Republicans are blowing it. And I believe they're doing it intentionally. That's the only thing you can say. That's the only thing you can say. If you've got a receiver on your offense and this receiver is open every single play and you don't throw the ball to him, that's just poor coaching. That's poor leadership. Well, no, I'm not throwing. You know why I'm not throwing that ball to that receiver? Because they got a pretty good receiver too. And if I throw the ball to our best receiver, then when we're on defense, they're going to throw the ball to their best receiver, and I don't like that. That would be bad. That would be bad. So you've got the filibuster. It's preventing us from getting anything done because everything that starts in the House goes over to the Senate. Can't get anything done. We got the funding for Homeland Security. We've got the Save America Act. Can't get those things done. Lindsey Graham, his big, bright idea was to try to get the 60-vote filibuster reduced to a 57-vote filibuster. Oh, that's going to work? That's a brilliant idea. But here's the most frustrating thing of all, and I just alluded to this. We got a chance here. We've got a big chance. Listen to CNN.
Look at this, net favorability. Party ahead at this point, midterm years with the GOP president. In 2018, Dems were up by 12. In 2006 on net favorability, which party you like more? Dems were ahead by 18. Republicans are actually ahead on net favorability at this point by 5 points. So Democrats are just simply running behind their previous benchmarks, and they need to be running well ahead of them if they want to take back the United States Senate, given that math.
To be clear, both parties are wildly unfavorable right now. However,
Democrats are even more unpopular than Republicans.
More unpopular. So the Republicans right now in the Senate have a +5 lead. +5. Are they going to blow it? Now, I don't know how we look in the House. That's going to be the one to watch. Those House seats. Because there is going to be an impeachment proceeding every single week against Donald Trump. It's going to be like, hey, welcome back to the news. It's Thursday. The Democrats are impeaching Donald Trump again. This guy's going to be impeached so much in the House of Representatives, it's not going to be funny. He's going to hold the all-time, never to be broken, all-time record for most impeachments. Now, will he be removed from the Senate? Well, we're going to have to see how the rhinos vote on that one. Have to check that out. But we've got a chance. And the Republicans are like, nah, I don't really want to, I don't want to govern. I just don't want to govern. I'm sorry. I don't like it. I'd rather sit in the back of the room and just, cry foul. I'd rather throw shoes from the back of the room than actually do something. That's what it is. That's what it is. So they don't like to govern. I don't know why they run. Well, I do know it. I know why they run. It's the power. I read a quote this weekend that just kind of hit. Wham. Whammo. We always hear that power corrupts. And absolute power corrupts absolutely. But somebody kind of flipped that around. I don't know who to give credit to for this, but they said power attracts the corruptible. And I thought, wow, you are exactly right. Power attracts the corruptible. As I always tell you, when you don't get involved in politics, you relegate yourself to being governed by your inferiors. And that's what we got going on right now. The people who are attracted to power are the most open to corruption because that's what they crave. That's their base nature. That's why. So when all these people go into Washington, when they go into Columbia, it's not that they go there and become corrupted. It's they were corruptible to begin with. That's why the vast majority of them run. Not everybody and not in every case. There are some good people that are, you look at Tim Burchett. He's fantastic. Look at some of these others. Look at Mike Lee. He's wonderful. Wish we had some senators and a congressman like that. But still, it is like, I don't know if you guys ever remember. You guys remember going to a gas station a long time ago? John, you tell me if you remember this. And they had that, you could buy those fly strips, and you pull them down, it's got that sticky thing on it, and the flies get stuck to it, and you walk into it, it's just covered with flies, and you go, That's power. The flies are the corruptible, and they're drawn to it. So I'm just, again, absolutely flabbergasted. Charlie, do you think that John Fetterman is a dino? I don't know if he's a dino or not. I know he's probably, some people are saying that Fetterman actually might leave the Democrat Party and become an independent. We'll see. Hey, Charlie, the pilot's call name was Dude 44. I love that. Is that true? Is Dude 44 was really his call name? That's pretty cool. Charlie, can you give out their text? No, you're asking for my contacts text numbers. I can't do that. Can't do that for you. But anyway, WORD talk line 800-9050-989. That's also the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line. Coming up in just a little bit, you want to talk about corruption. Act Blue, which is one of the biggest Democrat donors in the country, they've been caught up to some shenanigans. And when we get back, President Trump is refusing to extend Iran's deadline. And that happens right about 8 o'clock our time tomorrow night. We'll tell you about it coming up next. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
15 minutes of breaking news and stimulating talk begins every hour, every afternoon on The Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
Let your fingers do the talking.
Text the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line at 800-905-0989.
This is the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
All right, y'all. We got some starting kind of today. You're going to be hearing about pretty much through Friday. And if you know me, I'm going to be talking about it on the weekend. We got the Masters. Today's first day of practice rounds at the Masters. Tomorrow, things kind of ramp up. Wednesday, par 3 day, big party day in Augusta. That's always awesome. Then the tournament proper starts on Thursday. I got a lot of friends of mine over on social media. They're showing off all their master swag and how they went to the clubhouse and bought this. And I got one of those. Are you going to the tournament? That's what they call it, the tournament. Are you going to the tournament? I just came from the tournament. And that's how they say it in Augusta. But listen, let's let them have this week. Okay? Don't be too upset with them. Down in Augusta when they talk about the tournament, how they got the brand new Masters Gnome. Because, y'all, this is all they got. This is it. It's the only week that they have down there. The other 51 weeks out of the year are absolute blah. There's nothing to look forward to. Not a whole lot of fun. You got a horrible, corrupt government down there. So let's let them just have that. They don't have any mountains. They don't have any beaches. Yeah, they got the Savannah River. You might have to haul up to the lake up there, but I don't. So listen, so just let them have this. Just kind of chuckle at them. Move on. Let them think they're important for about a week. And then they'll be quiet the rest of the year. That's what I've found. All right, WRD talk line, 800-9050-989. Well, President Trump is refusing to extend the deadline for Iran. Let's take a listen to him at the Easter egg roll today.
Since you did move the deadline back a couple of times, are you prepared to move the deadline back again?
They've had plenty of time. In fact, they asked.
I know it's hard to hear that, but it was yesterday, actually. He said they've had plenty of time. They've been given every single opportunity to back down, and they have not. Remember, before this happened, we had been talking to these people for a long time. You got to get rid of your nuclear weapons program. You got to back off your ballistic missile program. You got to shut down some of those things. And if you don't, bad things are going to happen. And every single time, they've said no. So now we're hearing that they backed out yet again. So tomorrow night, approximately 8 o'clock our time, if the president keeps his word on this, if Iran doesn't say something or do something positive, it's going to get real loud and real bright over in Iran. And what the president said today is he doesn't want to mess with their power grid. He doesn't want to do that. Because that's not only going to affect the IRGC, not only is it going to affect the radical, it's going to affect the everyday people. Everybody there. And everybody's going to be suffering. This is the last thing he wants to do. So we'll see what happens. Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, the world is going to be pretty tense. Listen to what Pete Hegseth said today.
His command, America projects power with confidence and brings our people home with victory. And that continues today, by the way. Per the president's direction, today will be the largest volume of strikes since day one of this operation. Tomorrow, even more than today. And then Iran has a choice. Choose wisely, because this president does not play around.
And he's exactly right. So, what we need for them to do, promise they're never going to try to get a nuclear weapon, scale back their ballistic missiles program, and open up the Strait of Hormuz. I would go nuclear weapons program. Yeah, I'd keep them in that order. Nuclear weapons, ballistic missiles, Strait of Hormuz, all three of those, one package, get it done, open the strait, let the oil flow, and oil prices are going to drop dramatically. So what's going to happen when the strait is opened again? And it will be. Well, number one, the markets are going to react immediately. Immediately. The markets are going to react. You're going to see the price of crude oil drop precipitously. I won't even say precipitously because that would mean danger. Drop favorably to the American consumer. Then, I don't know, everybody's going to start calling when all of this happens. They're going to say, why isn't the price of gas going to come down? It's going to take about 2 weeks. Now, listen to what I'm saying. The strait opens. The market reacts immediately. It's going to take about 2 weeks for you to notice anything at the gas pump. But after that, hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to see these gas prices come down to a manageable level. What I came in today was $3.89 a gallon. That's just something we don't like. Yes, I know it was much higher under Obama, much higher under Obama than it is now. And it was it was pretty darn high under Joe Biden, and we didn't have anything going on then. Right? So, again, we're going to see how the mainstream media reacts. I was watching a clip the other day, and they were talking about how wonderful it was under Obama that gas was coming down to $4 a gallon. Yeah. Yeah, they're coming down to $4 a gallon. Oh, that's wonderful. Meanwhile, they're talking about how gas is reaching up to $4 a gallon under Donald Trump. You do not hate the media enough. You really, really don't. So we'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
This is Mark Levin. Join me tonight at 7 following Charlie James for the Mark Levin Show, a News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Text or call. One number does it all.
800-905-0989.
This is the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
I tell you, the Democrats are so removed from the truth, they wouldn't recognize it if you hung a label on it. Listen to this guy over on CNN with Scott Jennings. This is amazing.
He's already made everybody mad about taking away health care and food supports and raising taxes on hardworking, lower-income families and working families and giving that money to the ultra-wealthy. But now he's doing
what taxes did he raise?
Now he's doing it also.
What are you talking about?
Look at the gas prices. Look at the Amazon.
I know you voted against the tax cuts last summer. I know you're familiar with tax increases.
I would say take a look at the totality of what was presented. We could have passed a lot of those tax cuts, like the Senate did, unanimous consent.
Yeah, whatever. Trump hasn't raised. Apparently, what this guy was thinking that he was talking about the South Carolina state legislature, who is raising taxes on middle-class Americans. That's middle-class South Carolinians. That's who you. I'm sorry, you got confused there. But they always try to act like they're doing the right thing, when we know that they're not. And how do we know this? Because one of the biggest donors to the Democrat Party is an organization called Act Blue. Listen to this from Fox News.
Meanwhile, President Trump is directing the Justice Department to investigate Act Blue. This is a Democratic donation platform, and the focus is the allegations about illegal straw donors and foreign contributions. Mark Meredith is live in Washington with more. This has been brewing for a while, Mark. What do we need to know?
Dana, for years, you're right about this, but this is a big development. The White House is directing the Attorney General to investigate the Democratic Party's top fundraising platform. It's called Act Blue, and the president says he wants to know if foreign money is being donated to the group and then utilized to sway elections. Democrats are calling this probe a dangerous abuse of power. Act Blue is an enormous operation in Democratic politics. It's raised more than $16 billion since 2004. You may have seen the text pop up from candidates saying, please donate, go to the Act Blue website. Republicans use something similar called Win Red. There was a new memo signed on Thursday directing the Attorney General to investigate if foreign nationals are using the Act Blue platform to bypass campaign finance laws. Trump wants a report out in 6 months.
And we will find out that is exactly what's going on. Because you see, the Democrats love fraud. To what extent do they love fraud? Oh, my goodness. So J.D. Vance, President Trump put J.D. Vance in charge of the anti-fraud task force. And they are not wasting time.
Which was shared exclusively with us. They plan to focus on what they call high-speed, low-verification programs. You're looking at the full list of the programs right now Trump is focusing on. It includes Medicare, Medicaid, which spends $2 trillion a year. They're also looking into the Department of Labor's unemployment insurance's $43 billion with a B a year spending spree. And yesterday, the task force hosted its first meeting.
Americans have turned over trillions of their tax dollars to social welfare programs to help their neighbors and fellow citizens through hard times. They've done so on the basis of social trust, the belief that their government, state and federal, will do the right things with their dollars. If we fail to address it, the fabric of our nation will swiftly unravel.
Let's bring in the vice chair. I have here.
Yeah, unbelievable. $3 trillion. $3 trillion in Medicare, Medicaid. $3 trillion. So let's just do a little math here. 3 trillion divided by 340 million. Let's see what that adds up to. Per person, $8,823 a person. Per person. That's how much you and I are paying for all of this fraud. That's amazing. Let's go to Bill in Rock Hill. Bill, welcome.
Hey, thanks for taking my call,
Yes,
Charlie. What I wanted to say is, all this fraud's going on. I mean, the issue is it doesn't matter. I mean, you bring all these issues up, but nobody's going to go to jail. So what's the whole point in bringing them up? I mean, I agree we should expose the left, but I mean, I'm getting frustrated that nobody's getting convicted.
Oh, I am
Nobody's
too.
going to jail.
I am too, but that doesn't mean you don't bring it up. I mean, we got, listen, let me ask you something. Would you know there was Somali fraud going on if it wasn't for Nick Shirley?
No, sir. We
No.
would not.
No. And hopefully, and some people have gone to jail because of that. But no. Just because we're almost positive. Now, Pam Bondi's gone. Right now, we got Todd Blanche in there. Maybe we'll get Lee Zeldin coming up in a little while. But maybe we will finally have an attorney general that will actually put people in jail, and that would be a glorious day.
That's exactly right. That's what we need. I mean,
Yeah.
we want to see people get behind bars.
Yeah, because we are tired as taxpayers. I appreciate it, Bill. We're sick and tired of being ripped off, and that's what we are every single day, not only on the federal level, state level as well. I mean, how many of you thought it would be a good idea for our state legislature to fund a lesbian podcast? Anybody? Anybody would have said, well, yeah. Yeah, you know what? When I go to work tomorrow, I want a little bit of my pay to go to a lesbian podcast. That's exactly what I think that would make South Carolina great again. No, nobody said that. At least no conservative. At least the vast majority of the people didn't say that. But now these people are going to want you to vote for them again. Remember that. This is like you buying a product that they promise is going to work, and you use that product and it doesn't work. And you write the company and you go, hey, I tried your product and it didn't work. So, well, here's what you need to do. You need to buy the extra strength product, and that one we get. No. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me for 6 terms? That's just a shame. We'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
When the left spins, Charlie sets it straight. It's the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9
WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Hey, Charlie.
Let's talk.
It's the right talk.
Charlie.
Welcome. This is the Charlie James Show.
Now we're talking.
News Talk 98.9.
WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
You find me a Republican that likes Tom Tillis, and I'll show you a rhino. Through and through. Ought to be in a zoo. Step right up, folks. Look at the great rhino. Claims to be a Republican, actually a Democrat on the inside. Absolute rhinos. Tom Tillis has declared that he will block President Trump's next nominee unless...
Two pieces. One is the investigation of Jerome Powell. There will not be another Fed chair confirmed until that's disposed of, or until, for the first time since the allegations were made public, they could actually prove there's even a scintilla of criminal activity. We have 7 Republican members of the Banking Committee saying there wasn't. Now, separate matter, for me, the threshold for somebody following Pam Bondi ends the moment I hear they said one thing that excused the events of January the 6th. I've been very clear on that. So I hope whoever they have in mind to follow General Bondi was very clear-eyed on my position on January the 6th. That's why I didn't support 2 other nominees who were coming through Judiciary Committee, and I won't support any nominee.
Judiciary Committee. Who else is on the Judiciary? Oh, that's right, Lindsey Graham. Tom Tillis will not support. Listen, Tom, quit lying. Stop lying. You will not support anybody that the president puts up. It doesn't matter who they are. As a senior member of the Senate Judiciary Committee, Tom Tillis has a lot of influence over confirmations for judges, prosecutors, top law enforcement officials at the precise moment the Department of Justice must be restored to impartiality. His previous veto of Ed Martin as U.S. Attorney for District of Columbia, solely because Martin defended January 6 defendants, has actually shown a pattern of prioritizing his partisan narrative over the president's constitutional authority. Senate committee assignments are controlled by each party's conference. The Republican leadership can reassign Tom Tillis immediately through the conference steering committee without needing the full floor vote. They could just do that in committee. But again, they won't. Because if you show me a picture of Tom Tillis and you show me a picture of John Thune, you will not be able to tell the difference. They are exactly the same person. They could remove them. I mean, you've got Lindsey Graham. He's not going to do it. John Cornyn, hell, he's not going to do it. Mike Lee might. Ted Cruz, Josh Hawley might. John Kennedy, I don't know. So we'll see. I don't understand. I mean, we've got a president that won 312 electoral votes and the popular vote. He's got a mandate from the people. And he's constantly being blocked by his own party. I'm so glad Tom Tillis is going. Already announced his retirement. Of course, you're going to get the typical media hysteria, labeling the move as a purge if they do anything. But the real risk of inaction is continued obstruction of nominees, essential to ending the weaponization of federal law enforcement. The Senate Judiciary Committee, they stand as the gatekeeper for the most urgent task facing the nation, reclaiming the Department of Justice from years of politicized abuse under Merrick Garland. But one guy has drawn a line in the sand. I wonder if Lindsey agrees with that. I wonder if Lindsey agrees with what Tom Tillis says about January 6th.
It wasn't peaceful. I was there. If it had been up to me, I would have shot some of these people in the head.
I would say Lindsey probably does agree with Tom Tillis on that. I would say Lindsey is probably right up there with Tom Tillis. I listen. To me, the most snake-like, the most slithery act a human being can perform is to pretend to be somebody's friend when they're really not. And that is what I am seeing in Lindsey Graham. And we have seen it historically. You want to make America great again, tell Donald Trump to go to hell. Yeah, he said it. He said it. And then he gets on Bill Frady's show today and he says, well, we don't want to do away with the filibuster. And you listen to this. Go back and listen to it. No, I don't want to do away with it. We just want to take it down to 57 votes. And then, maybe 55. And then what? 56 votes? How long is that going to take, Lindsey? We need action now. There's no gosh almighty. It's like the Republicans of this country are like, let's go do something. They're like, nah, I don't want to do anything. Nah, I kind of like things the way they are. Nah, not going to do it. They could clear up so much mess that is going on in this country. They just don't want to. So when you hear Lindsey Graham making all of these excuses about why they can't do away with the filibuster, remember, it's not can't. It's won't. They could do something. And if they did, they are literally, you know what they are? They are the Iranians and the Strait of Hormuz. They've got a blockade up of President Trump's initiatives. That is the best analogy. They are preventing the president's initiatives, the president's agenda from going forward. And who, just like with the Strait of Hormuz, who is paying for it? We are. We are. How are we paying for it? Because we've got dishonest elections. We've got dishonest elections. We've got if the Democrats, like they say, we don't have illegals voting in this country, you wouldn't mind if we just checked, do you? But here's the thing. They know they are. They know they're voting in this country. This is probably the most substantive bill that we've seen in a long time. Let's go to Reed in Pickens. Reed, welcome. I'm sorry, Reed, you're in Greenville. How you doing, bud?
Hey, I'm good.
Yeah.
I was just going to make a quick comment about Tillis and Graham and all that.
Yeah.
They are against the January 6ers, but, turns out that the January 6ers were all correct and that this was a plot and a bogus election that, Trump was in. And I don't know why any of these people should have ever been imprisoned whenever they were protesting correctly.
And then they were egged on by the undercover FBI agents that were in the crowd and others, like Ray Epps. Yeah, you're exactly right, Reed.
Oh, yeah.
You're exactly right. I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. But remember that Christopher Wray. Remember Christopher Wray? The question was, how many undercover FBI agents were in the crowd? Remember that? Oh, I don't have any number on undercover FBI. What the question should have been was, how many undercover or plainclothes FBI agents were in the crowd? Because, see, there's a difference there. And he was mincing words. We'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Hey, this is Tara. Start your day with common sense information and opinion with me on The Tara Show tomorrow morning, starting at 6. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Charlie Speaks. You listen on your time. Get the show on demand. Text podcast to 800-905-0989. The Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
In Iran, state television is telling people to round up their children and place them at their power plants. That's literally what they're doing. They are trying to use children as human shields for their power plants. You want to know the difference between radical Islamists and just about everybody else in the world? That'll show you. They put rocket launchers next to schools. They put rocket launchers in hospitals. They put rocket launchers in daycare centers. And now they're asking their children to go stand at the power plants so that Trump will not strike them. Well, let me tell you something. I'm pretty sure President Trump has a contingency for all of this. Pretty sure there will be. So we'll see what happens. That is absolutely disgusting. Speaking of radical Islamists, Zohran Mamdani, the mayor of New York City. You see, he's raised taxes on the wealthy in New York, and the wealthy decided, you know what, I'm just not going to do that. So a lot of people are packing up their businesses, and they are leaving New York. Wealthy people. Even Robert De Niro. Did you see this? Robert De Niro is angry that Zohran Mamdani raised his taxes. Multi-millionaire Robert De Niro, by the way. Very upset about that. So in order to combat that, listen to what Zohran Mamdani is saying he's going to do.
Amidst being in the wealthiest city in the wealthiest country in the history of the world, we already see an exodus of working and middle-class New Yorkers. So I don't have a hesitation in asking those who make the most amount of money in the city or the most profits in the city to pay a little bit more so that everyone can actually stay in this city. It's also something not just about justice or the ability for working-class people to live here. It is also actually about ensuring that corporations can continue to attract the top talent to this city. Because in a city where childcare costs more than $20,000 a year, I've heard from corporate leaders about how difficult it is for them to attract individuals who would work at their companies but want to raise a family, because you could be making $300,000 a year and you will feel that $20,000 a year because of the fact that we have allowed for the absence of affordable childcare to become reality here in this city.
So they want somebody who is making $300,000, that's how expensive New York City is. Somebody making $300,000 a year. $300,000 a year, not to pay for their own child care. For everybody. So the best way to keep people in New York City, of course, is to raise taxes. What are these? Obviously, he did not go to the Wharton School. Obviously not. And in fact, he's doing something else. He's got a brand new initiative out there. It's called the Racial Equity Plan. Now, we all know what equity means, right? We'll check this out. This is Zohran Mamdani.
And while today's true cost of living measure confirms that the affordability crisis touches every corner of our city, we know that these effects are not applied evenly. So often, it is black and brown New Yorkers who are hit the hardest. This preliminary racial equity plan is the first step in developing a whole-of-government approach to tackling that reality. It is a plan that lays out these first steps to solve decades of neglect and discrimination, and it places the work of 45 city agencies within a singular framework.
So, what they're going to be doing is going to be helping black and brown New Yorkers exclusively black and brown New Yorkers. That's it. Nobody else. Are you black? Yeah. All right, you're good. What are you? I'm brown. All right, you're good. What are you? I'm white. Sorry. Out of here. What about you? Asian. Nope. Sorry. Got to go. This is only for black and brown New Yorkers, this equity plan. So that's all they're going to be hiring. Well, Assistant Attorney General Harmeet Dillon is now launching an investigation into Mayor Mamdani's new racial equity plan, seeking to help only black and brown New Yorkers. The racism of these people is astounding. It really is. I've never, gosh, we just about had it licked. The whole racial thing. We just about had it licked. And then, for some reason, we decided to elect a community organizer from Chicago as the president of the United States, who himself was an unbelievable racist, along with his wife, Big Mike. And then it all fell apart. But here's the thing. They don't care about the black and the brown people. They just want their votes. That's all they're looking for. And you know it, and I know it, and even they know it. Charlie, the mayor sounds like Kermit the Frog. Yes. Hey, Charlie, what if I identify as black? Ooh, Charlie, equity does not equal equality. No, you're exactly right. You see, a lot of people see equality is about opportunity. Equality is everybody starting on the same starting line and running the race. Equity is how it finishes. Equity is when one particular group is given advancement simply because of the color of their skin. Charlie, what if I tan a really long time? Would that be okay? Maybe so. Might be. Charlie, you will pay for it if federal cases show up from New York. Yeah, probably so. All right, we'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
15 minutes of breaking news and stimulating talk begins every hour on The Charlie James Show. Afternoons 3 to 7 on News Talk 98.9
WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
type your message on the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line.
800-905-0989. This is the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
Well, Joy Reid said something that actually made sense, and I'm kind of surprised. I know I'm as shocked as you are. Let's listen to what Joy Reid says about Republicans. Are you ready? Here we go.
Is that if you go back before the 20th century, there were no income taxes, there were no regulations on business. You could earn as much money as you want, leave 100% of it to your children with no taxes. Right. That's the world they want back. And to
yes, Joy Reid, absolutely. And that is the world we want to go back. No taxes, no regulations. You keep what you earn, and you pass it on to your children. You know what? I think Joy Reid just came up with what should be the GOP platform. It should be just that simple. Don't tax them. Don't overregulate them. Let them keep what they earn, and then pass it on to their children. Great idea, Joy Reid. Absolutely wonderful. I think it's fantastic. When did we get away from that? I mean, seriously. How have we gone from no income tax whatsoever to all of a sudden, with everything piled on top of each other, and I'm talking about all the taxes, you're paying right around 50%. You got your federal tax, you got your payroll tax, you got your everything tax, you got your state, your local taxes, you got your property taxes, you got taxes on your business, you got, it's only going to be a penny for your road, you got sales taxes. How much does the government actually need? I mean, what we need to do is cut out all of these damn programs that we've got in this country that are just bilking us, the taxpayer, out of literally trillions of dollars. Trillions of dollars. When you have these programs with people, it doesn't help them long run. It doesn't. Welfare should have a sunset. Welfare should have a sunset. All right, we're going to help you out. You got 6 months, maybe even take it out to a year. You got a year to get back on your feet. Now go get them, Tiger. And then you go out and you work like hell. And you try to actually improve yourself. But what our system does today, it doesn't, that's the way it's designed. They don't want people to improve themselves. They want people to be dependent on the government. These are government dependency programs. They want you under their thumb because then you're gonna owe them something, and you're gonna owe the Democrat Party something, and that comes around, and you got to go vote for them. And then what we're going to do is we're going to teach your children. Let's go back, because it's that time of the day, to the communist goals of 1963. These are the communist goals that were read into the congressional record in 1963. And whenever the Democrats do something, all you got to do, just look it up, bookmark it. Whenever the Democrats do something, go to the communist goals of 1963 and find out which goal this is. Okay? So, listen to this. In Washington, D.C., they've got a school curriculum. Now, listen to this. This is mandatory. If you are in grades 6 through 12, this is a mandatory class that you have to take, all right? Students are taught, it trains them in civic participation, including juries. Juries. Students are taught how to look past the actual crime and evaluate all the charges through the root causes of equity. Root causes of equity. This is a long-term plan to poison the jury pools of the United States. Through these, and this is from their website, through these curriculum integrations, every 6th grade through 12th grade student in D.C. public schools is involved in this. They evaluate crime based on equity. That's unbelievable. So, I mean, you can literally forget getting justice. Justice. It's called the Mikvah Challenge. The Mikvah Challenge. Democracy is a verb, they say. It develops youth to be empowered, informed, and engaged citizens who will promote a just and equitable society. Youth voices. The challenge, Mikvah Challenge, was founded on the premise that youth voices and participation matters, and that our civic and political life will be stronger when youth participate and help shape their own destinies. We envision a stronger, inclusive democracy that values your voice. Now, where is this in the Communist goals of 1963? Well, there it is at number 17. Get control of the schools. Use them as transmission belts for socialism and current communist propaganda. Soften the curriculum. Get control of teachers' associations. Put the party line in the textbooks. Yeah, it's right there. It is right there. Oops, sorry about that. That's where it is. Get control of the kids. And they're doing that in D.C. As if we didn't know. We'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
When nasty weather strikes, stay in the know with the upstate's largest staff of meteorologists 24/7 on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas. Chat with Charlie.
800-905-0989. Save it on your phone.
This is the Charlie James Show, only on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
So the best way for the Democrats, and this has been a plan that's a long time coming, number one thing you got to do to destroy this country, number one thing, you got to break down the family unit. That is vital. Break down the family unit. And the best way to break down the family unit is to get the men out of the house. And they have done this quite successfully, especially in the black community. You look at how few young black men grow up with a father in their home. They have been working on this for a long time. Long time. Number two, get the women out of the home. Get them in the workplace. You see, that's really when it kicked into high gear. That's when we started seeing all of this wokeism come out, when the feminist movement started to happen. That's when the wokeism started. And that's when corporations started to go woke, because why? It was because of the white liberal women that were primarily in the workforce. They're the ones that caused all of this wokeism. And the men couldn't do anything about it. You see, here recently, over the past few decades, women, and I know they say, oh, women make less than men. That's a bunch of BS these days. The only reason that is because a lot of men just take more dangerous jobs than women do. But men in the workplace, if a woman made an allegation, I mean, look at Justice Kavanaugh. Look at Kavanaugh. Look at the lacrosse team. If a woman makes an allegation against you at work, you are literally guilty of that. So men started seeing that. And then men started not speaking up at work. They started not saying hello. They started, and that's the truth. Early in my career, I didn't even know there was a thing called human resources. But now, if you're called by human resources, I mean, you're like, oh, well, crap, what's this about? What's all this going on here? So the women got out into the workforce, and guess what? They were miserable. You can see it on their faces. You can hear it in their voices. They're miserable. The majority of them. So now some of these women have decided, you know what? I don't want to do that no more. Listen to this woman over on X.
Men are like, we want a traditional woman. We want a woman at home, taking care of me, taking care of the kids, cooking, cleaning, doing all this. And women are like, have done the feminism, they've done the 9 to 5, they're all broke, they're unhappy, they're like, why are we working so hard? This sucks. And then they're like, okay, we accept your terms. And then men are like, okay. And then we're like, okay, so that's going to take a lot of money to have this life. So are you going to be a provider full time? Are you going to give me and the children the lives that we want? And then as soon as women turn it on men and accept, men are like, oh my gosh, you're just all gold diggers.
No, not quite, darling. It's not all about that. Being a traditional wife is a lot more than is not just about your role in the home. It's about your role in the family. It's about having a family and taking care of that family. Now, I used to do a Bible study on what the Bible says about how men should treat their wives and how wives should treat their husbands, and it says a lot more in there about the husbands than it does the wives. So I had this conversation. I had a conversation a couple of weekends ago, went up to Rhode Island, some family members, radical, feminist, leftist, radical. And that subject came up. And I said, you know, if men were actually leaders of the house and took the responsibility of the leader, then I think more women would be more than willing to follow his lead if he provided. And one of them said, yeah, I can see that. And honestly, it shocked me. It shocked me. So there's a new poll out that says that the trad wife is actually the new girl boss. 47% of the respondents in this survey said, 47% of women said they would rather head down the trad wife path than the girl boss path. 47 to 23. That was pretty amazing. The rest were undecided. Or they'll tell you later. One of the two. But that's what the Democrats' plan was. Take the men out of the home, take the women out of the home. When the women are out of the home, now you can kick in the whole thing about abortion because you can't give up your career for that child, can you? Then you make childcare expensive. Everything that is going on right now is a plan to destroy the family. And by golly, it's working. We'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Breaking news and what to make of it all with me, Mike Gallagher, tomorrow 10 to noon, right after Tara on News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Hey, Charlie.
Let's talk.
It's the right talk.
Charlie.
Welcome. This is the Charlie James Show.
Now we're talking.
News Talk 98.9.
WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
All right, now southern Iran, the southern Isfahan section of Iran is getting pummeled by airstrikes tonight. Huge explosions just rocked the munition storage depot, and that is, I believe, tiny compared to what's going to happen tomorrow night at about 8 o'clock. That's when the deadline is up that President Trump has given Iran to negotiate, to make concessions. So we'll see what happens. We've got about 26 hours before that happens. But this rescue mission that we had, the more we find out about it, the more amazing it really was. So the rescue happened. It was almost perfection. So there was dark U.S. commandos slipped deep into Iran. They were undetected. They scaled a 7,000-foot ridge, pulled a stranded American weapons specialist to safety, moved him toward a secret rendezvous point just before dawn on Sunday, and then everything stopped. 2 MC-130s that had ferried some of the roughly 100 Special Operations Forces into south of Tehran had a mechanical failure. And what President Trump said today was the sand was wet. It was wet sand. It was wet, soupy sand. And they weren't expecting that. So it was going to be, it's kind of, hard to land, but it was going to be even more difficult to take off. So now there they were, with really no way to take off. They were going to be, the weapons operator and his rescuers, they were going to be stuck behind enemy lines. So then the decision was made to bring an additional aircraft to fly into Iran and extract these people in waves, in smaller aircraft. And man, that was tense. But it worked. The rescue force was pulled out. They pulled out in stages. U.S. troops destroyed and disabled the MC-130s and the 4 additional helicopters inside Iran, rather than leaving all of that sensitive information behind, something Joe Biden didn't do in Afghanistan. It ended one of the most tense episodes of this 5-week conflict. Could have been a catastrophic loss of American lives. So this guy climbed up, injured. Now listen, the crew, JJ, you want to hear this. The crew of the Artemis spaceship, upon takeoff, took 4 Gs. 4 Gs. That was the force that they took. 4 Gs. When you eject out of an F-15, you're getting around 40 Gs. Imagine that shock to the system. As somebody said earlier today, the wind hitting you at 600 miles an hour, it feels like concrete. I'll bet it does. Just to eject, make it to Earth, get out of the suit, and hightail it up a 7,000-foot mountain range. Good night. No wonder those guys go through so much training. But they are trained for this. This is part of their training. It's called Survival, Evasion, Resistance, and Escape, or SERI. They're all trained in this. But there's a possibility that the vast majority of all this did not need to happen. It didn't need to happen. But why did it happen? Because somebody leaked.
As you probably know, we didn't talk about the first one for an hour, and then somebody leaked something, which we'll hopefully find that leaker. We're looking very hard to find that leaker, and talked about there's somebody missing, they basically said that we have one and there's somebody missing. Well, they didn't know there was somebody missing until this leaker gave the information. So whoever it was, we think we'll be able to find it out because we're going to go to the media company that released it, and we're going to say, national security, give it up or go to jail. And we know who, and you know who we're talking about, because some things you can't do. Because when they did that, all of a sudden, the entire country of Iran knew that there was a pilot that was somewhere on their land that was fighting for his life. And it also made it much more difficult for the pilots and for the people going in to search for him.
And he's right. So whoever this leaker is, I hope they find him. I hope they try him. Hope they convict him. Hope he goes to jail for the maximum length of time in Leavenworth or wherever they're going to put him. I don't know if he's a civilian or a military member. I don't know. But not only did they put that pilot, that weapons specialist life in danger, they put in danger every single pilot and every single military member that was in on that extraction effort. Because why? Seriously. These people in Iran had no idea. They had no idea that there was another pilot on their soil until the leaker told them. And then the bounty came. And then when the bounty came, all of these civilians out there looking for a big payday, they joined in. Luckily, our CIA was involved. We had this a subversion go on. They had a bunch of planes go to another location, telling people that's where he is, we're going to get him. That diverted a lot of attention, but there was still a lot of heat in that area where this pilot was located. So I hope the leaker, I really do, I hope you're feeling very nervous tonight. I hope your conscience, if you have one, prevents you from sleeping. That you were the person that put our military member in danger. I hope you go to jail for a long time. I really do. But no matter what, it was an amazing, and I know we were all praying. I know we were all praying. We were praying for a Good Friday miracle. Saturday came, Sunday, Easter Sunday, as the sun rose over Iran, the announcement was made that we had them. Who are we going to there, JJ? Swinging Don up in Shelby. How you doing, Don?
Hey, what do you say, Charlie?
You, man, what's going on?
I just want to say, why is there not a word from China on all this? Because all their systems are getting destroyed.
Yeah, why would you want? Well, we saw that. Not only did we see it in down in Venezuela, we saw it. Now we're seeing it all over Iran right now for the second time.
Yeah, exactly. And everyone, do yourself a favor. Pull over if you're calling on the road.
There you go. All right. Appreciate it, Don. Thank you very much. We'll take a quick break and be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Get breaking news sent straight to your phone for free. Download the Odyssey app. Follow News Talk 98.9 WORD. Stay in the know with the voice of the Carolinas.
Interact on the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line.
800-905-0989. Text or call. One number does it all.
800-905-0989.
This is the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
All right, let's go to the WORD talk line. We'll talk to Richard in Dallas. How you doing, Richard?
Hey, I'm good, Charlie. I hope you are.
Yes, sir. What's going on?
Hey, man, did you hide Easter eggs for your four-legged children?
No. They got plenty of they find stuff in the yard all the time that I don't even want to think about.
Well, listen about that. What do you call it? Informant or
the leaker?
What do you call it? Leaker. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guarantee when they find out who it is, it's a leaker or leakers, and I bet you whenever they find out who it is, it'll be somebody left over from the probably Obama administration that was able to hang on up until this point.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And it's a good thing that he leaked what he did, because he'll no longer be associated with the government in this country.
Yeah.
You understand? He's out.
Oh,
And
absolutely. I hope so.
Listen, another thing. What is to stop Russia from loading a nuclear weapon up on one of their commercial flights and flying it to Iran? And just like, hey, they going to poke it in our eye because we poked it in their eye in Ukraine. We didn't send a nuclear weapon, but we really helped Ukraine,
Yeah, well, I think you got to give Putin just a modicum of credit here. I think his restraint, he knows better than to mess with Trump. He knows better than starting World War III.
If he were to get off his rockers, he could do that, could he not?
It could happen. I don't think it will, but anything's possible. I appreciate it, Richard. Let's go to Oyster Man in Traveler's Rest. How you doing, buddy?
I am doing fine,
You're
Charlie.
good.
You doing all right?
I'm great. What's up, man?
Listen, I got a question. There was a book and then a movie, and everybody's been saying this is the greatest save of the airmen in history. There was one that was called Behind Enemy Lines.
Right.
It was about a Navy pilot or a Marine pilot that was shot down. One of them was killed, and the other one ran around Bosnia for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
Gene Hackman was the admiral on the ship that actually went in and got him. Do you remember that?
I remember the movie. I don't remember seeing it because it's an older movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was probably in the 80s, maybe up to middle 90s. But the thing was, Gene Hackman's character ended up losing his job for failure to do what the high brass wanted him to do.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, I think Russians were actually involved, obviously, with Bosnia and all that.
Right.
But the thing was, I just wanted to kind of point out that there had been another rescue and survival of the guy, and he actually finished his time and retired. Never went back flying, I don't think.
Yeah.
But and then one other thing I wanted to say. I believe Ralph Norman. You know Ralph Norman.
Yeah, I know Ralph.
And Ralph's probably a good man. But how can he say he's going to do all these things when he gets to Washington?
Well, it's Columbia he's trying to go to.
Well, Columbia.
Yeah.
How's he planning on doing that with Rhino Republicans and Democrats?
Well, here's the thing, though. I mean, with that, what he's got that McMaster, or what he will have that McMaster's got but doesn't use, is the bully pulpit. Have you heard McMaster come out against a single thing that our state legislature has tried to pass?
No.
No.
Can't say as I have.
No.
So that's going to be the key of it.
That's going to be the key. Absolutely. Now, whether or not it works, we'll see. But it's certainly a lot better. Fighting them is a lot better than going along with them. I appreciate it, Oyster Man. Let's go to D in Thomas E. How you doing, D?
Doing good, Charlie. How are you, my friend?
I'm great. What's up with you?
Listen, I just got a question, Charlie.
All right.
We understand that the Islamists basically have no respect for life.
Yeah.
In other words, they have no fear of using their own citizens as human shields.
Right.
By placing their missiles in schools, hospitals, etc. All right. I've heard that it's been reported that they're asking that children be placed based on the Trump deadline.
Yep.
All right, and power situations and bridges and so forth. All right. Question is, what do you think will be or what should be, based on the 8 o'clock deadline presented with the Iranians tomorrow night? What should be our response if that does indeed take place?
I will. Well, listen. I mean, you've got people in the Pentagon that know these people. They know how they act. They know what they're going to do. I wouldn't be surprised if there was some sort of a contingency plan for that. You always need to know what your enemy is going to do. So hopefully they do. I appreciate it, D. Let's go to Larry in Cleveland County. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. Hey, I just want to bring up a talking point when you was talking about masculinity.
Yeah.
Man, real man. And let me say this to you. Women love to have a real man because they feel safe. Nobody can dispute that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, my wife, we've been married 28 years. And when we first met, she really didn't like dogs, but now we got 3 sleeping with us, little tiny ones. And they take over, and she's with me.
Yeah.
And my point is, like your wife, Sheila, she knows that bell of yours meant something to you. And they reciprocate it. They put it back to you because they know they got a true man that will stand behind them no matter what. That's moral fiber. That's what real life's about.
That's it. You're right. I appreciate it, Larry.
Ring the bell, man. Ring the bell.
I'll give you one of them bell rings. There it is right there. Appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. We'll take a quick break and be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
15 minutes of breaking news and stimulating talk begins every hour, every afternoon on The Charlie James Show.
News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
He speaks. You listen on your time. Get the show on demand. Text podcast to 800-905-0989. The Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
All right, let's go to the WORD talk line. We'll talk to Vaughn in Sandy Springs. How you doing, Vaughn?
Hey, brother, how you?
I'm fantastic. What's up?
Hey, man, I'm just got a question for you.
All right.
If we've got all this oil in reserve, why do we have to deal on the global market and all that? Why can't Trump bring it down?
Because that's just the way things work. If you have oil and you're going to sell oil, you have to do it through the global markets. Now,
So we have to pay their market price and
Yes.
all to make, just say $110 a barrel.
Right.
And all.
Yes.
But if we've got all this oil in reserve, why can't he use it to
You
bring
mean
our
you mean wait, hold on? You mean like our strategic oil reserves?
Yes, sir. He
He's-
said he was going to tap into it.
Yeah, he did. I don't know if he's done that yet or not. I think he's expecting the strait to open up. But you see, if we were decide not to do that and just keep all of our own oil, then what would happen would be every time you buy energy, every time you buy oil, natural gas, liquid natural gas, electricity, whatever it is, you have to use American dollars on the market. And that holds our dollar up. That bolsters our economy. If Trump or somebody else was to say, listen, we're just going to keep our oil, then the rest of the world is going to say, no, we're just going to start using our currency, and then that would literally tank the dollar. So it's it's kind of a tightrope that we have to walk, and I understand. I've had a lot of people say that to me, Vaughn. I appreciate it, but that's just the world we live in. Let's go to Eric in Pickens. Eric, welcome.
Hey, Charlie.
Hey, bud.
You had an earlier caller. He made a good point, but I want to go at his point from another angle.
Okay.
Using human shields is specifically prohibited by the Geneva Convention as a war crime.
Right.
So if the Iranians are requesting children and civilians to go to these power plants and bridges to be used as human shields for again to keep Trump from blowing them up,
Right.
then what Trump needs to do is just run a surveillance drone over there, since we don't have Blackbirds anymore.
Yeah.
But run a surveillance drone over, take pictures of these human shields lined up on the bridges, and then take that to The Hague.
Yeah.
Because they're all big about accusing Trump of war crimes. Well, hey, here, all you people here, this is a violation of the Geneva Convention using human shields during a time of war.
Yeah.
So, when are you going to prosecute the mullahs here? I want to see a whole bunch of
Yep.
warrants here for the rest of the mullahs.
That's right. And maybe even call for NATO to get involved, right? Yeah.
To get France and Germany to get off their pacifist butts and say, you know what, maybe this is not a good idea.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That's a great point, Eric. I appreciate it. Bill is in Inman. Bill, what's going on?
Hey, Charlie.
Hey, bud.
I think I know exactly what Trump's going to do.
Okay.
We all know that you never tell your enemy what you're going to strike. You know, he said he's going to strike the power plants and the bridges starting tomorrow if they don't comply.
Yeah.
I think he's going to go in and take Cart Island.
Ah.
Hit those power plants and bridges. He's going to go in and take Cart Island.
Well,
Mark my words.
that's kind of where they store all of their oil. That's where they
That's
offload it onto the ships. That would be very interesting, Bill. I appreciate it. And that's a good point. I mean, Trump's real big on not showing his cards, but today he said that, 8 o'clock, our time, tomorrow night, all hell is going to rain down. He's going to take the bridges out, all the bridges, all the power plants. So what if he doesn't do that? What if that's another one of those CIA little subterfuge there, and he does go in? I don't know. We're going to have to see. It's going to be an interesting 26 hours coming up as to what's going to go on with that. But we'll see. But here's what we've heard, that the U.S. has deployed a weapon that was not supposed to be deployed for 10 more years. The U.S. deployed a weapon. This is from a source over there on X. The U.S. deployed a weapon that was supposedly to stay classified for another decade. It's called a soft kill electronic warfare device. America just revealed a capability most people didn't know existed. Electronic warfare systems mounted on Black Hawks that can shut down entire battlefields without firing a single round. Shuts down all enemy communication, and that's what we've heard happened. Disabled drones midair. They just fall from the sky. The directed energy blinds the sensors, the radar, the targeting systems in range, collapses command networks. In seconds, no gunfire, no explosions, just silence. Is that what we used? Well, they're never going to tell us. But wouldn't that be interesting if it was? All right. WORD talk line 800, and not only that, it can be used on humans too. Yes, it can. Remember the discombobulator that Trump talked about when they went over to get Maduro, and they had those 200-300 Cuban guards in Maduro's palace, and they were able to take them all out? Maybe they were using the discombobulator over there in Iran. That would be a game changer, wouldn't it? All right, folks, we'll take a quick break and be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Streaming stimulating talk and breaking news on your phone 24/7 on the Odyssey app. You're on the drive with the Charlie James Show.
News Talk 98.9 WORD,
the voice of the Carolinas.
Let your fingers do the talking.
Text the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line at 800-905-0989.
This is the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
And welcome back to the program. Let's go to the WRD talk line and talk to Steve down in Charleston. How you doing, my buddy?
Hey, Charlie, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. What's going on with you?
Well, just listening to you. And I got in on the show late today, so if I missed this, apologies. But first, I want to talk about the discombobulator. Yeah, that's a real thing. I mean, we have the most technologically advanced military in the world, and our engineers are just, nobody can beat them. And there's a component of that thing that's released people kind of like the Havana syndrome does. So it just confuses their electronics, their command and control systems. It leaves them kind of helpless. So, yeah, you can use that thing and walk in. But as far as oil goes, it's a commodity.
Yeah.
It trades like a commodity. It's a bid and ask price. Whether we have it or not, it's based on the global supply and demand. So it's just one of those things. It's a market thing. But there's something very important going on in a town that you used to work in this week.
Uh-oh.
You know what it is.
Yes. Not only that, it's my hometown, Augusta.
That's right.
Yes. The tradition.
To get to play that dadgum course.
I played it 6 times, yeah.
Yeah. Now, let me tell you, my memory ain't too bad for an old man. I called you this time last year, and I said, Charlie, give me a pick. Do you remember who you told me?
I do not. Who'd I tell you?
Rory.
Did I pick Rory last year?
I'll never forget that. And I said, dadgum, Charlie, pick
All right. I'm gonna make another. I'm gonna make a prediction on this Masters. Are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Fitzpatrick.
Really?
Fitzpatrick.
Matt Fitzpatrick.
Matt Fitzpatrick.
That's a good pick.
I think
tell you,
so.
Those guys are hot. McIntyre's hot. I'd tell you, I wouldn't be surprised if last year's runner-up, Justin Rose, doesn't put up a good number too.
Let me tell you something. I would love to see Rosie win that thing, man. I would love that.
I really like him.
I do
He's got
too.
A great personality, fan friendly, and that would be really nice. And,
Yeah, I like that. I like
winner at
Fitzpatrick. I like McIntyre. And boy, I'd love that pick of yours with Justin Rose. I'd love to see that happen, man.
Yeah, but
So.
last year when he won, I never called you back. And until this year, I said, I'm going to wait and remind Charlie that he picked Rory. But you sure did.
Well, I
Anyway,
appreciate
Greg,
it.
It's always good to hear you,
You
on
too,
the
man.
radio, and good talking to you, too. All
Thank
right,
you,
bye-bye.
pal. You take care. Let's go to Roger and Taylor's. Roger, what's going on, man?
Mr. Charlie.
Yes, sir.
It seems I always follow the best calls.
What's up?
And you enjoy talking golf.
Yes, I do.
I was talking to Ben Carper a little while ago, and we're talking, and I'm like, this isn't something that Trump would do, is to say this is what we're going to do.
Right.
And they're pushing, and they're crazy enough, they'll force these kids to go to these power plants and stuff.
Yeah.
I told him, I said, I think, and we, we have stuff in the sky where we can tell if people are going there.
Yeah.
And I'm not wondering if they're saying this because they want to bomb something else. And I was thinking earlier today, they have the state-run media.
Yeah.
It may be that they go in there and blow them up, and it being after school at 8:00, it may be that they blow these schools up. If they send the kids out there, that's where they keep their weapons, is in the basements of these schools.
Yeah, that's right. They do. I don't know what they're going to do. All I know is we've got, about 25 hours or so, at least 25 hours to find out. It's going to be an interesting day tomorrow, definitely.
Well, let's just keep praying for our troops and praying for our president and the people around him.
Yep, every single day. I appreciate it, Roger. Let's go to Chuck in Mills River. What's going on, my man?
Not much, man. Not much at all. Can you hear me all right?
I can. Yes, sir. What's up?
Oh, I had the radio on. And
Okay.
it's still playing through. Sorry. No, I just wanted to say I was really pleased to hear our good president use some foul mouthery, man. It's about time.
Oh yeah.
I know we can't. I can't really say what I want to on the air sometimes.
Yeah.
But he's the president of the United States, and he can say what the hell ever he wants
That's
to whenever
right.
he wants to.
Yeah.
The the news agencies didn't care too much for it.
Oh, who
and
cares?
I agree with what you said earlier, that they'd love to see a whole bunch of shot down F-15s, F-18s, and F-35 and F-22 and a bunch of burning ships in the sea, so they could say, "See, we told you so."
Yeah.
And and we all know it. We all know it. And I think that Donald Trump is, there's some things I don't like about him. We can discuss that some other time. But right now, I thought it was great. He came out swinging and cussing, man. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
I just made me feel like an American, because who hits their thumb with a hammer and doesn't cuss? Come on.
Exactly. Let me tell you something. I don't know if you've ever been in a television newsroom. They cuss like sailors. They cuss like sailors.
I bet you there's preachers that cuss as much as you, less than you'd think.
Yeah.
But I did want to say I can't wait to hear what good job on everybody praying for that was,
absolutely
rescued.
It works.
And for all y'all people that don't believe that had something to do with it, well, screw y'all.
Yeah.
That's the safest colloquialism I will use at the moment. But I really think that the prayers and just the fact that the training we give our airmen, I mean, they're basically special forces with a jet strapped between their legs.
Yeah.
And they've got to be able to do everything to survive. And I think that it was just incredible, wasn't it, Charlie?
Yeah, it really was. It was absolutely amazing. And listen, there's even parts of it we have no idea that took place. It was unbelievable. Chuck, I appreciate it, buddy. You have a lovely evening. Okay, Lindsey Graham, and we're going to talk about this coming up tomorrow because we're running out of time tonight. But Lindsey Graham was on with Bill Frady today, and he said he was going to get all of this stuff done, including the SAVE Act, through reconciliation. Well, Senator Mike Lee is telling you, and I'm telling you, that's a load of BS. Don't fall for it. Never going to happen. The parliamentarian that they could have replaced, this whatever name, McCullough lady, Evelyn McCullough, they could have replaced her, but they didn't. And she's a Democrat holdover. So, but we'll talk about that tomorrow, and I'll play you what Mike Lee said about that. All right, y'all have a lovely evening. Pray for our troops. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless. Buckle up. Bye, y'all.